Alrighty, so jumping right into the tutorial, the first thing you want to grab is some spirit gum. You also want to grab a couple of brushes. And then you want to grab a spatula. An easy alternative if you don't have a spatula would just be to grab a butter knife. Some fake blood, of course, and also I forgot to mention, but I did use scar wax. That's the main thing I use, and I forgot to mention it. I don't know why, I'm crazy. And then some sponges. These are a little bit ugly, but you know, hey, I'm still gonna use them. Then you want to grab a variety of cream paints to color the wound later. The first thing you're going to do is just put a little bit of that spirit gum down. If you don't know what spirit gum is, it's an adhesive and it's going to allow the scar wax to stick to you better. Alrighty, so now all you're going to want to do is get a little bit of that nose and scar wax, place it right over top of that spirit gum, and then kind of just press the edges into your skin. Don't worry too much about blending yet, you just kind of want to get that scar wax as flat as possible to the skin. So you'll see me in a second just kind of flattening that down with my thumb. And then once you got it as flat as possible, it should look something like a band-aid. And then you want to go ahead and take your Vasaline. A friend of mine actually told me to use Vaseline instead, and honestly I like it way better than using oil. Reason being, it's already in a tube, so you just dip your finger in and then begin to blend those edges out like you see me doing here. Another trick I like to use is just grab my brush, dip it in the Vaseline, and then use that to blend those tougher edges out. Alrighty, so once you get that product blended out as much as possible, you want to go ahead and just take your spatula or whatever really. I end up using my hand a couple times, you see, like I'm doing here. But you just want to clean your nail bed of any product, that way it'll seamlessly blend into your skin. Alrighty, so all the same steps apply for all the other fingers. Just go ahead and add your spirit gum first, your nose and scar wax on top, put it as flat as possible, and then just begin to blend it all out. Alrighty, so once you've done all of those steps, your fingers should look like this, little baby sausages. I'm weird, I don't know why that excited me, but anyways, you want to go ahead and just take your spatula, clean up those nail beds to get your fingers looking back and normal and unsausage-like. Alrighty, so we are back with our normal fingers again. I almost feel like this is a nail commercial the way I'm like showing off my nails. Okay, so for this next step, you want to go ahead and make sure that your spatula is coated with Vaseline and then just begin to carve out those cuts. So a little tip I was doing was near the nail bed, I would start off wide and then towards the end of the end of the cut, I would make it a little bit more thin and sharp, like if it was an actual knife. In this clip, you can see a little bit more better what I was trying to say when I meant that I kept it wider towards the nail bed in every single one. Also, one thing that I was doing is with the spatula, I would just put those jagged edges down. I would lay the spatula flat against it, being careful because it is wax. So you want to be mindful that wax doesn't set, so you could easily ruin the wax, but just slowly bring those edges down. Once you've done all your cuts, your fingers should look a little bit something like this. And then you want to go ahead and take your sponge and just stipple that all over the wax to cut some of that shine and add a regular skin-like texture back to the wax. Alrighty, so towards the end here, you could already start to see that the wax is blending in a lot more seamlessly now that we cut all of that shine out. Okay, so like a lot of my other tutorials, you want to just take a little bit of black on a small pointed brush and then just fill in that wound. I cover the black later, but this is just to add depth to the wounds. Alrighty, so right over top of that, you want to go ahead and go in with your red. The only reason that I do use black is because my red is a little bit more bright and it's not as dark as I'd like it to be. So if you have a red that's dark enough, then you don't even need to add the black base, but that's what I do. It's a little trick to get that red darker. Alrighty, so at this point I was a little bit scared with what I was about to do, but all I did was dabbed a little bit of red on both sides of the wound. And then I started off with a brush, but I ended up liking just using my fingertips to blend everything out. It blended everything out seamlessly. Like, I don't know if it was my fingertips that warmed up the cream makeup, but it just looked like if it was my actual skin, a little bit raised and irritated. Alrighty, so all I'm doing here is adding a little bit of that red and black cream paints to my nail beds so that it looks as if I've been bleeding out for a while and then the blood has dried. Alrighty, so for your last step, you want to go ahead and just apply blood. Again, like I always say, you can add as little or as much as you would like. If you guys like the way this blood came out, I'm going to go ahead and link down below a video of where I'm actually making the blood. Alrighty, that is everything, you guys. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'll be uploading every single week. If you guys have any suggestions, feel free to leave them down below. I love you guys. I'll see you soon.
Slowly taking in my body.